Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have a very special guest. We have Mike Rainbow. If you ever had the Rainbow wallet, which I'm sure many of you have because it's one of the leasing ones, and you were wondering who is the guy behind the wallet, here is the man, Mike Rainbow. What's happening? Welcome.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me.
There he is, there he is. And just as a background, so I'm gonna play this video, but Mike did a video about how they're planning to take over the world with a Rainbow wallet, and that's when I felt that this is going to be a fun person to have on the channel and discuss.
We at Rainbow, we've built a wallet with imagination, a wallet that's cool, a wallet that's for people like us who live their lives on chain and who don't want to get slowed down. We've built a wallet that will kill the fox. Download the Rainbow extension today and put the fox in the trash. Remember, true believers are always rewarded.
So, Mike, tell us, what the hell is happening in crypto? Like, how did you get into this crypto deving? Because at the end of the day, you're a dev company. You're developing wallet and the dev tools with the Rainbow Kit. Tell us about your story. Let's take it from the beginning. Like, you found Bitcoin, ETH, you started trading. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, let me think, dude. I mean, I had always followed along with Bitcoin. Like, I remember seeing it on Hacker News forever ago. And I very hilariously thought that, oh, well, like this is a scam. Like I was like, this can never work. And that was a long time ago. But yeah, in about 2017, 2018, I was just like working at a healthcare SaaS company as an engineer and I was just like obsessed with watching crypto. I mean, it was the 2017, 2018 like bubble. And I don't know, man, there were a couple points in my life where I really, really regretted not getting involved in a technology. Like I just remember distinctly being a kid and when the iPhone came out, and I remember just like having the opportunity to get into iOS development and not taking the opportunity. And I just in 2017, 2018, I just really I realized, man, like crypto is not going to go away. And wow, it seems like there's not that many experts out there. So why not? Like why not just jump in? Because I don't know, I just had a really strong conviction that crypto is not going to go away. Yeah, so I got into crypto in 2018 and then we founded Rainbow in 2019. And yeah, it just felt like there was a real opportunity at the time to build a much better wallet product. Because we were using all of these cool things in DeFi there were really only a couple of things in DeFi at the time, or really in like, happening on chain. And yeah, it just felt like, none of this was going to actually blossom unless someone came along and actually built a better wallet product, because you have to have a wallet in order to actually interact with any of these things.
Yeah, and the wallet space is becoming quite complex now. A few years ago, it's enough that you build some key management, that it's super safe, but today there are a trillion chains, layer 2s, bridges, swaps, DeFi positions. Like it's so much to build a wallet. I feel it's kind of like with browsers. From the start, it was just, parse some HTML, some picture, some text, but now it's this super massive undertaking to build a browser, and the industry in the browser space has zeroed in on a massive open source repo, which is Chromium, and then everyone just uses that because it's too complex. You want to build something else, you're not going to build something else. So I wanted to ask you this, like, how do you think the end state of wallets look like? Do you think at some point we're going to also have this massive open source repo that everyone is using? Or do you think it's going to be kind of like now where someone can build their own proprietary and then take over that way? What's your view on the future of wallet tech?
Yeah, really interesting question, because yeah, it is sort of needlessly complex today, and I think that I guess I'd say the thing driving a lot of the complexity these days is all of the layer twos, because not to get too deep into it, but it's like Rainbow, we show you a lot of like rich data about the contents of your wallet. So for example, we discover all of the tokens in your wallet and show you them like right away, instead of like MetaMask, right, where you have to sort of add custom tokens. Yeah. I mean, basically getting all of the rich data that you need and showing it in the user's wallet, like correctly for all of the different chains, that is definitely, I'd say, like the thing that currently adds a lot of complexity. But to your question around like, yeah, like, is there someday going to be like almost like a Chromium sort of like central repo? Maybe. I think that like you could make the argument today that things like Ethers JS or like VM almost are like that. You know what I mean? Where everyone's sort of using
That's a good point.
those in order to power their thing. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have you seen the product called Rivet? Shout out Jake and shout out Tom.
I have it.
But Rivet is like a very, very cool new like developer focused wallet. Maybe that could someday become sort of the central repo. I don't know.
Or sorry, I don't think I have that. I have Rabby, which is another one. But you say Ribbit wallet.
Yeah, Rivet, Rivet. It's made by the people who made WagMe, and it's basically made by Paradigm essentially. But all it is like it's almost like a developer facing wallet. It's not really even meant for consumers. It's almost like it's like really intense, frankly. If you look at it, like it lets you basically manipulate, like call data and stuff like this. Like, it's almost like Chrome dev tools, but for a wallet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say if there would be sort of like a central repo. I'd say it's a little bit different though, because like with wallets, yeah, I don't know, like so much of it is just about the data.
Yeah.
Whereas like
and that's hard
browsers,
to open source, right? Like
yeah,
because that's what we do at Moralis. We index, we have APIs, metadata, all of the pictures on the CDN, all of that. And I'm also thinking, like, let's say that someone wants to build a wallet and have it fully open source. Like, to be fully open source, then you need to open source all the indexers. You need to have all of the deployment scripts for all the databases. And that will come with like hundreds of thousands in AWS costs if you want to index all chains from the start. So it's a very interesting problem that we have, where EVM and like the nodes in ETH, for example, you cannot ask it to give you all the owners of all NFTs. You can ask a specific NFC and the specific owner,
yes,
but just give me all of them. You can't do it. That I find is super crazy. But at the same time, it's made for consensus. The node is made for consensus, not for data retrieval and caching and indexing. But it's these things, when I learned how to program on ETH, I thought that but blockchain has everything. You just ask the blockchain and then it cannot tell me all the coins I have? Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, it is honestly, it is hilariously unintuitive how difficult it can be to just honestly like get the info that you need from the chain. It's getting a lot better these days. But yeah, I'd say that's sort of like the definitely the biggest burden when building out a wallet, for sure.
Looking to speed up your product development in crypto? Moralis lets you build crypto and blockchain applications faster without worrying about scaling in-house data infrastructure. From portfolio balances, NFT data, token data, to real-time data about addresses, holders, trending collections, and prices, Moralis has got you covered with unified APIs across all major EVM chains. Why spend countless hours struggling with blockchain infrastructure when Moralis can help you innovate faster, ship your products quicker, and ultimately increase your project's success? Join companies like MetaMask, Opera, Blockchain.com, and thousands of others who are already using Moralis data to build, scale, and grow faster than ever before.
And now you guys are one of the top wallets, and I found it very smart that you also did the Rainbow Kit, because, for example, we at Moralis, we have Moralis Money, which is like, Moralis Money is like you can find altcoins that are getting traction based on like liquidity and stuff like that. But when we were thinking, what's the easiest way for us to have login? We took Rainbow Kit, and then we realized, wait. Why is Rainbow doing a dev tool? But then it made sense because Rainbow is at the top. So I thought that was pretty smart.
Yeah,
So
man. That was
tell us
the
how it happened. Like you built the wallet and then you thought how to grow it. Tell us how you made that decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly funny. Like I mean, first and foremost, we built Rainbow Kit because, you know, really for our users, because what we were realizing is that, um, a lot of the stuff we were seeing okay, there was like a time during the NFT mania where you would check Twitter and sort of see interesting projects like every day, like being tweeted about. Um, but what we realized was that far too many of those links that people were tweeting, when you would get to the website, the only way to connect your wallet that they would have would be like a button that said connect to MetaMask. And we realized, oh shit, like these why is this happening? Why are there so many people sort of with only the option to connect to MetaMask? And we realized that it was because, yeah, like developers, particularly even like artists, right, who might be good enough to kind of throw together a website for their NFT thing, that setting up Wallet Connect properly was like way too much for them. Like it was just simply a big pain in the ass, and none of them actually, developers most of the time, they don't want to spend time building out the Connect wallet part of their flow. Like they just kind of want to build their app, right? Like they want to just sort of have that taken care of. So yeah, we built Rainbow Kit, and Rainbow Kit's adoption is like really blown us away. It's
It's
at this
crazy.
point it's truly like one of the most dominant solutions, or the most like widely adopted solutions. So yeah, what Rainbow Kit is it's really like a best in class developer SDK that makes adding a Connect wallet experience to your website or Dapp like super easy, right? So I've seen people go from like learning React to adding Rainbow Kit to their website in like, whatever, like less than half an hour, right? Like if you know what you're
Yeah.
doing, it takes like 5 minutes. But
And
yeah, I
and as
mean,
far as I
really,
remember, so sorry to interrupt, Mike, but also as far as I remember, it's also a fair SDK, because if you use MetaMask once, you will see MetaMask at the top next time. As far as I remember, that's how it works, that it remembers. So it's not like you
yeah,
guys are shoving Rainbow down everyone's throat. And that's why it's so adopted,
no,
because
yes, correct,
it is
exactly.
seen as a neutral solution. So that's very smart of you as well.
Yeah, the number one design consideration that we sort of set as a requirement was that we need to make Rainbow Kit so that even if for whatever reason, if you don't like Rainbow, that you would still use Rainbow Kit, right? That basically we wanted to make it unhateable. And yeah, I think that we did a really good job with that. But yeah, to your point, like it's not just for Rainbow, right? It basically what it's doing is adding support for every wallet to your website or Dapp, and gives it like the best in class support, right? So there's all these little edge cases that we take into account, that sort of that we handle for you, and that it just it provides like a much better user experience. But yeah, you might notice that like by default, it puts Rainbow at the top of the list, and that's like super huge for us, right? At this point, we now have Rainbow Kit installed on a huge cross section of the ecosystem. And typically wallets would have to do a lot of you know manual, almost like BD, right? They would have to do almost like sales essentially in order to get their wallet like placed on any one of these dApps. And what we sort of did was, yeah, like kind of leapfrog that whole process by effectively building uh like the little like Rainbow Kit widget. And that essentially, by building such a good widget, right, like dApps are just installing it themselves without us having to talk to them. And what that ends up with is, yeah, like Rainbow at the top of the list by default. Now developers
That's
can
super smart.
change. Yeah, it's worked out well. I mean, and I guess, yeah, just to say it, right, like Rainbow's at the top of the list by default, but you can change the order, right? And you can even remove Rainbow. Yeah,
Yeah, and
if you
also I've
want
seen
to, but
other
you shouldn't do
wallets.
that.
Yeah, I've also seen other wallets start with a dev kit. I've actually not seen what happened to them, but there was a wallet called Family Wallet or something. And I remember they started by promoting their Connect kit because we were looking into the solutions. We saw what is this Connect kit, and it's also by a wallet. And that's a nice growth hack that it seems to be adopted more and more and more. But let's go back to the early days. Oh, sorry, Mike. Please, it's a bit of a delay, but please.
No. I mean, basically, what's the thing? Blah, blah, blah. Forget about it.
Okay, no, but let's go back. So you guys thought, let's do something in crypto. It's new. It's like the new iPhone, basically full of opportunities. If you're a dev, you can build anything. Then how did you make the decision to do a wallet? And you started with a mobile wallet, right? Is that where you saw the biggest opportunity?
Yes.
Walk us through it.
Yeah, and we still do. Yeah, I mean, so at the time, my co-founders and I, Christian and Jin, we both, all of us have, I guess, like, I don't know, like we really like consumer products, and sort of building for ourselves in a lot of ways, right? And yeah, so at the time, we were just endlessly fascinated by the things happening on Ethereum. And back then, okay, the things happening on Ethereum were only a couple of things. The biggest thing happening was MakerDAO in like 2018. So MakerDAO, they're the creators of like the DAI stablecoin. And then there were also some like exchanges on 0x. There was like this one called Radar Relay. And what we realized though was, wow, like this stuff is so cool. We love playing with it. And we think that other people will too. But man, like, they have to install, it's like this thing they have to use MetaMask. It's so janky. Like, look at it, right? It just feels like a developer tool in like not a good way, right? So yeah, I think that we just realized there was this really big opportunity to build a wallet that we could imagine regular people using. So yeah, I mean, to us, basically the opportunity was, I don't know, it just felt really obvious to us. And yeah, we decided to build first a mobile wallet, right? Because at the time, there were really no good options for mobile wallets. There really were very few, like significantly less wallets than there are in the market today. So yeah, we started by building the mobile wallet, and we spent a couple of years doing that. At this point, the mobile wallet's grown quite tremendously. Now we're available on like Android, things like this. But yeah, in our minds, basically mobile was, the platform for future growth. Yeah, I mean, let me think. Like at the time when we started Rainbow, we were getting made fun of by investors for adding support for NFTs. Because at the time, the only NFT that anyone found interesting was CryptoKitties.
Kitties.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we were the first wallet that had NFTs in that manner. Yeah, let me think. Sorry. What else was your question?
Yeah, and so you become pretty big on mobile, and now everyone has followed. MetaMask has wallet on mobile, and many other mobile wallets. And now, how do you view the next step? Because I know you guys are planning to do an extension as well. How do you see this dynamic between extension and mobile, and why have you chosen to do an extension and not just double down on mobile if that's the future?
Yeah. So we still definitely believe in mobile being the future, but we also realize that actually, a huge percentage of the existing crypto native user base, that they, for whatever reason, strongly prefer doing their shit on desktop. So really, what we felt was really important was to actually make Rainbow have platform parity with MetaMask. Right. So what we mean by that is just like anywhere that MetaMask is, Rainbow needs to have a competing product available on that platform in order for us to meaningfully compete with MetaMask as becoming like the default wallet. Right. Like our goal is it doesn't sound all that exciting, but our goal is to become like the default wallet. And yeah, it felt like really important to actually have a product available on desktop. Because otherwise, essentially, people are always going to be recommending MetaMask, right? And we essentially want to just, get that word out of people's mouths. No more MetaMask. You can't say that word anymore. Now there's an alternative. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yeah, I
And
mean,
what is a good way? How are you thinking about this migration? Because there is, like you say, people trust MetaMask a lot. That they have it, they've always been using it. They've been using it for years and years and years. How do you approach this migration? Because it's super sticky. But once you have your wallets, and especially
yeah.
if you have like generated many of them, and you have the different chains that are everything configured, it's quite a big move. And there's not an easy way to export everything. Just a button where everything exports. So how do you think a new wallet like yourself can capture the big audience from an existing one?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, so we do have some plans. What I can say though is that actually importing your wallet from MetaMask into Rainbow is really easy. All you have to do is pull over your seed phrase, and what we can do is automatically detect all of the different wallets in that seed phrase, and even suggest, for example, like say you have like 20 wallets in MetaMask, but 10 of them don't have any money in them. Like Rainbow will automatically detect that and suggest that you don't import those ones. Um, and so to answer your question more directly, though, it's like, what's the plan? Like, how can we kind of get people, to kind of get off their ass and to actually migrate products? The answer is a couple of things. Like, one is, so we think that the product itself is quite compelling. And once you try it, you get really stuck to it. So the thing about Rainbow that is the Rainbow extension that is sort of the most sticky is the keyboard shortcuts. And it's one of those things that you really got to try it to understand. But the best example is that say you have a bunch of wallets imported into Rainbow. You can just press 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keyboard, like you're just switching weapons in like a video game. And that's how you switch wallets in Rainbow, right? So you can just like rapidly switch between wallets by pressing 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keyboard. And there's a number of other awesome like keyboard shortcuts, and basically being able to actually fly around your screen using just keyboard shortcuts is really like a breath of fresh air when compared to MetaMask of like having to go grab your mouse just to like sign something. It's kind of a pain. Now, we do have a big plan though here where we're working on what we call Rainbow Rewards, or like Rainbow Points, which is going to be really fun and people are going to really like it. Yeah, I can't really say much more about that there, but what we're going to be doing with it is we are going to be using Rainbow Rewards with the goal of effectively like vampire attacking MetaMask here. So
Yeah.
essentially, users will be able to get like points by importing wallets into Rainbow that have, for example, you'll get extra points if you import a wallet that is previously swapped on MetaMask.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean that's the only way. If people know that they can earn some potential rewards, whatever that is, maybe it's points, maybe it's something else in the future. Who the hell knows? Always nice to have some points, just in case. It's actually one of the biggest use cases of all the layer 2s. Collecting points, just doing some transactions. I mean, just in case. I mean, who the hell knows? Just in case. So that's a good one, and especially if you've been using it, if you've been like trading, you say on MetaMask, then on chain you can see that and you can reward that more. Yeah, that makes sense. And because if people know that they can make some money, man, they will install anything. It's just that's how MetaMask got adoption in DeFi. Like you could make money with trading that you could not make on Binance, and that's how everyone installed it.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, like we're also going to be having a referral program as well, and we're excited about that. So soon you'll be able to like invite people to Rainbow, and doing that will get you more points as well.
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean that's sort of we're spending a lot of time thinking about that right now. Right, we launched the browser extension, let me think, about 2 weeks ago ish. And since then, it's really just been, very organic, sort of grassroots adoption of the product, where it's mostly spreading right now via like word of mouth. But yeah, we're really excited about kind of ramping up um, into like a much more, I'd say, like serious push once we have this rewards program live.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's awesome, especially if someone has any kind of audience, like for ourselves, for example. If we can get the ref link and
Yeah,
we speak
yeah,
about a good product, and you have nice like marketing materials that makes also our
yeah,
channel look nice, because it's we're promoting stuff which are key to this industry, which are serious,
yeah,
and it looks nice and it helps the user, so it can be very very good.
yeah. Honestly, I think that there's a big demand, or there's a hole right now, right, where I feel like most of the products that have good affiliate programs tend to be sort of not actually great products for beginners, right? Where I'm thinking of things like Bybit
Yeah,
or like,
exchanges. Yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, but like not just exchanges. It tends to be like, incredibly high leverage, sort of perpetual swap exchanges, which I think are, I don't know. Personally, I think that most beginners would sort of be better off sort of trying,
Yeah.
I don't know, other products like that are sort of less risky out of the gate. But yeah, I'm hoping that our referral program can be popular for that reason.
But one thing you'll have a bit of a struggle with is everyone else who's also doing an extension, because they're gonna grow like mushrooms. I
Yes.
mean, they kind of are already, but I've heard like
Yeah.
Zerion is having, and like
Zerion
there are
has
quite a
one.
few
Yeah.
that are launching. So how do you think in this battle, who do you think, what is the, because everyone will say that, oh yeah, we have the nice UI, we are better than MetaMask because of the UI. I mean, it's pretty standard selling point that everyone has, and you guys have the referral. Ethereum, they have the NFT stuff that you can grow your NFT and your activity and stuff like that, which is kind of the same, I guess, that you can build up your identity, and then potentially that will be good for you going forward. So what do you think will be the decisive factor, if any, or is it just gonna be split up and how to say, fractured industry
Yeah.
with many players at the same time?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. And unfortunately, at the current moment, it's really actually hard to have multiple wallets installed into your browser. They very often create like conflicts, unfortunately. It has more to do with MetaMask than sort of actually any of the other wallets. Just MetaMask essentially, like, I don't know, like they haven't really. Do you know about like window.ethereum by any chance? Uh,
Yeah,
but like
exactly.
basically
Yeah,
all of the wallets are sort of like fighting over the same variable in people's
yeah.
browsers in order to sort of yeah. And like uh I don't know. Basically, so it currently does suck a little bit as a user if you're trying to use multiple wallets at the same time.
And
But to
also,
your
if you have
question
like
about like, yeah, like,
extensions, I've had several times where I have like a few extensions, also like, security ones, where they show you the outcome of the
yes,
transaction. You click a button, and
yeah,
sometimes it's Rabby, MetaMask, sometimes it's this and that. Sometimes it's just the security extension. It's not even any wallet, so it's very undefined
yeah.
behavior there.
Yeah. But to your question, yeah, I mean, I do think that like, listen, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wallets in the market. I think that really our plan is really to keep listening to users and to keep trying to build the best product that we can. We did a lot of user research when building this browser extension product in particular, where we were talking to a lot of power users and whales and really hearing from them what the most painful things are about using a wallet every day. So, that really informed our direction, for example, on the keyboard shortcuts, as well as even like wallet management. So one thing about Rainbow, for example, that is a bit different than other wallets is we spend a lot of time designing out wallet management. And it sounds like super lame and boring, but really what it is if you're a power user or whale, you very often have like dozens and dozens and dozens of wallets in your wallet at any time, right? Like and very often they even have like really specific naming conventions for their wallets, right? Where it'll be
Yes.
like, Compound Finance 1, Compound Finance 2, and then like,
Because there's
Miladies
no
or like,
privacy. There's no privacy on Ethereum. So the only way to have privacy is to use a centralized exchange and then withdraw to one, and then you deposit to centralized exchange and then withdraw to different ones. So it becomes a hell, especially if you then want to do some tax reporting. Man, if you care about privacy, it's possible, but it like you say, you're probably gonna have a lot of them, and to keep track, you probably need a naming convention. Yeah.
Yes. So so what we've done with the Rainbow extension is I guess we took all that into account, right? And users can search for their wallets by name, right? So if you do have all of these like long names, and we're actually something that we were working on, it didn't make it in time, it didn't get finished in time to be part of the official product release, but something that we are going to be launching soon here is the ability to drag and drop your settings from MetaMask over into Rainbow. So for example, like that will maintain all of your names that you have made for all of the different wallets, right? Like, so instead of having to redo all of that work of like having to name all of your wallets again in Rainbow, if you've already named them all in MetaMask.
So you build like a website or something. But how do you read it? You build like a website where you connect your MetaMask, and then, or how will it work?
Yeah, well, what we do is it's part of the onboarding flow of the Rainbow extension product, and what it does is basically we like launch open, basically like Finder on your Mac. Like we basically open up Finder on your computer to the file that so MetaMask saves all of this data to a file on your computer that just basically contains.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just basically contains like a bunch of settings, and we push the user to basically drag and drop that file into Rainbow as part of the onboarding. Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah, that's super easy.
But yeah, I mean, to your core point, I think that it's like how do wallets kind of stand out? I think that an important thing is distribution, right? And that's important, and sort of that's what makes Rainbow Kit so important, is just sort of actually the ubiquity of the brand. So having your wallet brand and your wallet product sort of in as many faces as possible. And then it's also strong branding we think is really important as well. So it's really important to have like a strong brand, and like effective marketing.
Yeah, and I like that you renamed yourself to Mike Rainbow, because I should do the same. I should be Ivan Moralis, because man, it's it is working. Who is Ivan from Moralis? And like you said, you're Mike from Rainbow, so you're Mike Rainbow. Because I thought that that's your last name, and it really works. It's another like touch point with the brand.
Yeah. I think that the internet came up with this name after, what was it, like Donald Trump would call, what's his name, Tim
Apple. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's where it came from.
Got it. But so speaking about distribution, so you guys started with the mobile app, which means App Store. Did you have any problems with Apple? And what is the limit of what you can and cannot do? Because I know, for example, they don't want anyone to compete with App Store. So, for example, can you do a Dapp store where you like pre-list all of the apps? Like, is that problematic, or how do you view this Apple gatekeeper?
Yeah. It's so I'm almost like afraid to talk about it because of how much unilateral authority they have, and I don't want to piss off the gods over there. But
okay.
Yeah,
let's not.
No, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's a huge problem. The way that Apple is sort of essentially that they have such draconian rules about crypto, and that they essentially enforce that at the App Store level. It's definitely not good. I'm encouraged by our friends over in the EU who have, it seems like that the EU is going to force Apple to support, what do they call it, like side loading apps in the next year or so, right? So essentially, the EU is making it so that like Apple has to allow their users to be able to install apps from elsewhere besides the App Store, and that's quite encouraging as well. Yeah. Now I'm a little conflicted about this, to be honest, just because on one hand, one of the things that I like most about Apple products is that I can buy them for my mom and I
Yeah.
know that she is not going to get, you know, like, malware installed while
Scammed.
she's trying to install like a little game or something. And so that said, right, it's actually like I very much value Apple's um, censorship in a
No,
way,
but
right, of
but
their
but
app
but you know,
store.
it's probably gonna be like on Mac where I mean, you can install, but it's just that you need to go to settings and it's gonna be a warning and all of that.
Yeah,
But that's like
yeah,
one thing that
I think
TU
you're right.
does good is this Apple thing where they force them to have USB-C. Which, listen, we don't like big government, but man, USB-C is better. If we just look at
I
the
agree. I
specifics.
agree. No, I agree. I feel like, yeah, there's, a couple of things every once in a while that the European regulators do, and I'm kind of, America gets excited about it. That's very rare that America gets excited about
Yeah,
European
yeah.
regulation, but yeah, specifically around Apple, we love it, I guess. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, it makes sense.
but oh, yeah, so you're asking, yeah, have we had problems with Apple? Yeah, I mean, we definitely have. Like, whenever you submit your app to Apple, you're sort of, you know, like, yeah, it's sort of like you never know what they're gonna say. Um, uh, and yeah, so I guess I don't know, like, what else were you asking? You're asking like, do we have problems? What do you think about it? I
Yeah,
do
I
think
mean,
that they're
just
eventually going to lighten.
like just in general, is that a big problem? But I think I get what you're saying. That, I mean, up until right now, it doesn't seem to have been a big problem for you yet, and hopefully it's going to be even easier going forward. But just this topic, and tell me if you cannot discuss it. But what do you think about this? Like, that you can explore dApps within the wallet, and it's kind of an app
Mm,
store or not? Like, is that something that you guys see as a potential? Because that's what I've been thinking. Like, there is gonna be easier to explore dApps because now you go to different URLs. It may be a scam URL. I mean, who the hell knows? It should be like an app store with predefined URLs where wallets can make a nice experience for users. I tried the Solana phone. They had it in a very nice way where you get guided through the different dApps. Like, you get NFT here. It's a very nice onboarding. I haven't seen something similar in ETH world, probably because of the
that's
App Store
interesting.
thing.
iOS. Yeah.
Yeah. So to your question, can you sort of make like a Dapp store type of thing? Answer is probably, but it definitely you might need to like not really tell Apple what it is. Now, part of the reason why is because Apple has one of their like long-standing policies has been to disallow third-party app stores, right? So if they see like
Yeah.
almost a grid of like app-looking logos, they're going to be, they're going to be like alarm bells going off, and they're going to be looking at your thing a lot. So you'll notice that actually a lot of like wallets that have Dapp browsers very often have like nothing on that page besides the URL bar, and that is because of this policy. But to your question, yeah, I mean, we've been thinking a lot about this as well, about how to make discoverability of dApps more easy. And yeah, historically, we've approached instead of by building an adapt browser, what our goal is to essentially like just integrate the protocol directly. And
Yeah.
we're excited about the future of that path as well. But we have been more and more exploring the
Mm.
idea of integrating a Dapp browser directly into Rainbow, because yeah, really like um, you know like we never really liked Dapp browsers, but we think that that really like it might just kind of users want them really badly, so we might just actually add it in.
Yeah, yeah.
We're thinking about it.
You should try Solana phone just to try if you haven't, because I really like that
Yeah.
onboarding where they guide the user through like 6 dApps, and you have to install, you have to like claim something, sign some transactions, and then you get an overview of Solana and what it is. Now the problem is that it's a separate phone, and like yeah, I mean, I don't use it because I have iPhone. But if I would be using that, it would be a very nice onboarding. And also, like, have you seen the Netflix the documentary about Spotify? The
No.
playlist is
There's
called.
a
You,
oh
you
yeah,
should
is it good?
you should watch it. It's good
I
because
will
they
actually. I'm
have a
right.
similar they had a similar problem with the record labels when they started. So
Okay.
it's a very interesting story because Spotify is also from Stockholm, where I'm based, and they're like the biggest like unicorn
Yeah, yeah,
startup.
yeah.
Many people are
It's like
inspired
them
by.
and Angry Birds, right?
No, Angry Birds is Finland, but Sweden
okay.
is Candy Crush. It's Candy Crush. Candy Crush is from
Hell
from a
yeah,
small.
dude. Hell yeah, go Sweden.
But so anyway, with that Sweden plug out of the way, so what they had to do was that they had to sell a portion of Spotify to the record labels so that they would like leave them alone and give them rights. And they were very conflicted, like should we do it, should we not do it? But then when they did sell a portion to the record labels, suddenly everything fell into place. Everyone gave them rights, so probably the same thing will have to happen with Web3. Like at some point, we either will have to work together by, for example, co-ownership with Apple, or if we still have problems with on-ramps and the banking space, probably Web3 companies will have to collaborate by sharing equity with them as well. Like that's the only way Spotify got big. So that's why I'm thinking, like if you or guys or someone else, if Apple really wants to collaborate, it would be so cool that if they could like accept Web3, because now they are Web3. Now the question is, can they really like be that subjective? Probably there's going to be like antitrust laws that they favor one app and not the other because they're owners. But yeah, I mean, so something like that. Do you think that will ever happen, or do you think that we're gonna be our pure Web3, no bankers, no big tech, pure Web3? How do you think it's gonna happen?
No, I mean, I definitely, I don't think that it's going to be like no bankers, no Apple, sort of like we're pirates over here forever. And I don't think that that's even a good, like, a good future that we should be looking for or wanting. Um, I don't know. I guess part of me thinks that Apple has sort of taken this stance or whatever. Like, I don't even particularly think that it's like that they think about it. Like I sort of think that Web3 is just too small for them to really consider, or even for them to even like rethink their own stance on this. I sort of think often I actually think that Apple's stances are almost driven by a misapplication of some analogy, right? Like I think that they look at things like NFTs and what they see is things like their iMessage sticker packs, right? And they're like, well, we charge 30% on the iMessage sticker packs. Like we should charge 30% on NFTs as well. And we're not big enough yet, like as an industry, for them to care to actually realize that those two aren't the same. You know what I mean? Like like iMessage sticker packs and NFTs are not the same, but we're just not big enough as an industry to really sort of make them rethink that. But yeah, I definitely, I think that actually that banks getting involved would be good. I think. I think that like improving the on ramping and off ramping options in the market are, in my opinion, just like good, right? Like there's no downside to that. That said, both Apple and the banks have not reached out to ask for their ask for a cut of the equity yet. Yeah, but I'll let you know as soon as they reach out for a tax.
And how do you view the business of being a wallet? Because for the longest time, there was no business. And recently there is swaps, which is a big business for MetaMask and everyone else.
Yeah.
Now in the bear market, the problem is that, I mean, most people just swap on MetaMask, but also more and more people are finding out that, wait a second, I can swap on uniswap.com without the fee. And that's also a competition. Like the dApps are becoming competitors to wallets if the business model is swaps, because you can swap in the wallet or on a website and you just connect the wallet. So how do you view this like business model? Are there other business models? Should the wallets make money? Should they not make money? It will be interesting to hear your thoughts in general about this.
Yeah. I mean, at a high level, I think that the way to think about wallets and the business opportunities it's nearly identical to the business opportunities that like Coinbase has, right? Essentially, by building software that is meant for consumers, if you essentially own that relationship with consumers, that there's opportunities to monetize via different types of fees, right? So if you look at Coinbase, right, like they, I actually don't even know off the top of my head like what their fee is for, but it's certainly higher than Rainbow's, right? But basically,
too high.
Yeah, too high. but yeah, so I think that at a minimum, right, like the business model is yeah to charge convenience fees on various actions, and at the end of the day, like we are providing in our minds like a high quality user experience, and also an experience that allows users to like save time, right? Like particularly in the browser extension product, just like with the keyboard shortcuts, it truly is that much faster of a product to use on a regular basis. So we do think that yeah, that like charging convenience fees in certain places sort of works out. Now there are, at the end of the day, you can think about a wallet as just being software that controls people's programmable money, and that that given, right, like monetizing that is sort of, there's nearly endless ways to monetize a product like that. In
Yeah.
the meantime, yeah, we're mostly focused on the convenience fees, but there's also other interesting opportunities as well. We've also been like selling NFTs even, right? Like we did a for Coinbase's on-chain summer campaign, we made an NFT with this brand called AdWorld, and that made us like
Mm.
$125,000 in
Mm.
revenue,
Interesting.
and that was just like fun. That was like sort of yeah, it was
Interesting.
a great NFT. You should check it out. It's really fun actually. It's called Rainbow World, and but yeah, so it's like we've been making little NFTs on the side as well, and that can generate money. But really, like yeah, like swap fees and essentially the little different convenience fees that are charged in the product are the primary revenue stream. We're seeing a lot more people like
Yeah.
bridge these days as well. That's sort of another big one.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, if let's say there's a new NFT that is legit and you feel that it's legit enough to promote it in the wallet, they can also share with you some portion of the revenue that you bring in case it's like a big, what is his name? The guy that sold for like 60 million, I don't remember. But anyway, in people, exactly. I mean, in case something is like super legit, because you don't want to do the small stuff, which is potentially rugs. But if something is like super mega legit, and actually it looks good if you work together, even because it's an opportunity to your users, and also it's a super legit project, then that could also make sense that you collaborate. And also different protocols, like integrating the protocols makes sense. I'm kind of thinking, people pay for iOS games, but in the early days of iOS, I mean, technically you could go to miniclip.com and play like for free there, but it would suck the user experience and everything. So it's the same thing there. It's a native experience, native, and also the scams. Like in Web3, you go to URL, you will get scammed. So if it's natively integrated, you're not scammed. And for peace of mind, it makes sense that there is a convenience fee.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think that is, yeah, that's the big thing, right? Is that basically if it's built into the wallet itself, it's a lot more trustworthy. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely planning on building out more into the browser extension. You'll notice that the mobile app has a lot of fun features that the desktop product doesn't have. Like for example, we show you all of the NFTs that you have in your wallet that have offers on them, and like let you just sell directly into these offers.
Yeah.
And like yeah. So like
Yep.
that kind of stuff as well. Like I forget actually. Let me see what we charge there for a fee, but it's very, very small. I don't even think we are charging a fee. Okay.
And how does it work with the investor landscape? You mentioned in the beginning, investors were laughing that you guys have NFTs. Then the bull market came. I guess the investors were very, very bullish. And what is the reading you get currently from VCs about the wallet space? Are they believers, not believers? Is it hard? I mean, everything is hard now. Like there is no point to hide. Like it's crypto is bear market. Everything is hard. But like, how do you view the understanding and nuance and like vision of the future in the VC world?
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because yeah, it's we are definitely like scraping the bottom of the bear market as far as sentiment goes, and that's definitely visible in the investor crowd as well. It sort of seems like that there's this I don't know, like everything that they had really high because they had such high conviction, right, about everything like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I feel like sort of
they now sort of are second guessing everything, right? Because a bunch of their theses like kind of didn't make sense and blew up. They sort of now are like unsure about everything. So I do sort of think that, I'm hearing a lot of like, I don't know, like people like second guessing the business model, or it's like, are swap fees sustainable as a business?
Yeah.
I mean, we think that they are, right? Like if you look at Coinbase, it's like quite clear that Coinbase is able to continue to charge fees, and no one's really changing that. I think that also investors right now are, the thing that they're talking a lot about and most excited about is like account abstraction, which is really cool. And we're thinking a lot about account abstraction as well. But I think that's what I would say is that investors are sort of just in this period of like uncertainty. They don't have a lot of conviction right now. Yeah.
No, and you're not alone with that feeling. I think everyone who is VC funded, I mean ourselves including, we've never been. I mean, we are right now at the biggest stage when it comes to revenue, when it comes to growth. I mean, even in the bear market, we've been able to grow with infra. Thanks, but at the same time, while it is like better than ever, it's still not this rocket speed boosters, all boosters online like in the bull market growth, which I think many VCs are expecting. So there is I also feel sometimes there is a bit of that second guessing, but at the same time, like this industry is at the very lowest. We have the lowest volumes in 6 years now in Web3 when you look at exchanges. So this industry, we need to show product market fit. We need to show all of these things. So as long as we know where we're going, the numbers will follow. It's like with Bitcoin. It's so cheap now. Like people don't understand. It's digital gold. Like this is the future. People don't get it. Is the hash rate is the highest ever. Like everything is the best ever. Still, they're not buying, but they will at the all-time high.
Right. It's like everyone wants Bitcoin when it's at all-time highs, and then as soon as it starts going down, no one wants it anymore, right? And I think that the reflexivity of crypto is not always intuitive for people. But I think that right now we're sort of at the bottom of that reflexive cycle, right? Where basically, but as soon as basically there's some interest again, I think that it's sort of reflexive. It's going to be reflexive on the way back up as well. I mean, exactly. At the end of the day, right? Like that was another big reason why we built the browser extension, right? Was just because, at the end of the day, like right now, there's not a ton of new users joining the ecosystem, and we wanted to, build a product that would suit, that is really made for the crypto native audience that is here today and sort of is never going to go away, right? Because there is this core, cohort of people who aren't going to go away, right? Like this is sort of their financial system at this point, and
absolutely
the market.
And I mean that's what everyone has to understand. Like I'm never going to go back to fiat. All the money I have in crypto, they're never going to fiat. I would rather have Tether than any fiat. Like, because Tether, yes, maybe it's unbacked, like who the hell knows? It's still $1 on the exchange right now. And at any second, it can be ETH, it can be any other shitcoin. It can also be Bitcoin if I use Torchain and I go across the chains to Bitcoin. So it is like, I've never used an on-ramp, off-ramp. I'm only on-ramping. And once it is in crypto, why the hell would I go back? Because it is freedom for real in crypto, where you control it, you can use exchange if you want, or you can be self-custody, you decide. But that's like real freedom. In fiat, there is no freedom. So I see by myself, and normally the advice that people give is that you should buy stocks in things you use yourself. And crypto is one of these things where, like, to me, it doesn't make sense. Why should you ever go back? Once you have ETH or Tether or something, it is free in terms of freedom, not free in terms of money, but it is freedom, and it's just a question of time before everyone else snaps. Like the understanding needs to snap in the rest of the world, and it will happen because I'm not a lunatic, and you are also not a lunatic. So it cannot be that we all believe in some garbage here. That will not be true.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that, man, I mean, this just like, we started Rainbow in a bear market, and yeah, I mean, this is nothing new, right? Like when we started Rainbow, no one cared, and
Yeah.
my friend Racer, like I'm good friends with Racer, who made Friend Tech, and I just remember going over to his office back in the day. He was working at on another startup, and showing him Rainbow and showing him all of my crypto kitties, and he was like, "Cool, dude. Like, I don't know what to do with this. But cool, man." And all of a sudden he got deeply crypto pilled, and is over there building Friend Tech now. And I think that really it's easy to forget that that these cycles happen, right? Like these cycles do happen. And also when the bear market ended last time, it was very unpredictable, right? Like I don't think that people could have predicted sort of DeFi summer, right? And sort of all of the innovation that actually brought us out of the bear market. But yeah, I mean, I'm really optimistic about the future, and I definitely don't think that crypto is dead. You know what I mean? It's like it's not going anywhere.
It's absolutely not. Mike, let's wrap it up. How can people find you, the wallet? What do you want people to do? What kind of CTA should we give our audience?
Yeah, go to rainbow.me. And yeah, check out our website. Check out Rainbow extension for browsers and the Rainbow app for mobile. Definitely give it a download. Give us, if you like it, give us some good reviews on the App Store and on the Google Web Store. And yeah, our Twitter is rainbow.me, rainbow.me. Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. Always been a big fan. Ivan, I'm curious, man. I mean, like, I feel like what's your take on the? I feel like crypto Twitter at this point. I mean, you've been in the game for a long time, but I feel like these days on crypto Twitter, you're known for respect the pump. I'm curious, how do you think about that?
No. I mean, actually, from a business development perspective, it's been very helpful because, we are an infra company. So sometimes we speak to, business developers in different chains, and many of the projects, they have hired quite serious people. They're like senior business developers. They've been working at like Deloitte, bam, but always they're like, wait, respect the pump. So it's like, and it's like you yourself, it's like an instant icebreaker. But at the same time, I find it fascinating because I've been in crypto for a long time. I've done many things we have the biggest online academy for developers. We have one of the biggest infra companies. We serve MetaMask and different wallets with data. But one thing people know me about, one thing that people know about me is respect the pump. Those two other things is like somewhere in the background, but respect the pump. It's funny, man.
Dude, yeah, it's one of the best. I feel like it's one of the best crypto Twitter like clips out there, man. So yeah, be really proud of yourself, dude. That's gonna be.
It's historic. It's historic.
Yeah. Yeah, it really
absolutely, it's historic. And that's the spirit of crypto. Like it's fun. Like it's fun to be here. It's funny. It's funny for good reasons, for bad reasons. I saw just the other day Craig Wright with a freaking sword and he's dancing. He's faking to be Satoshi. Man, what the hell is this? Like, it's so retarded. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, dude. It's endless fun in crypto, man. It's honestly just the funniest industry to work in ever. So I'm not going anywhere. Yeah.
Likewise. Mike, listen, it was a pleasure. Thanks a lot for your time, and let's stay in touch. Whenever you guys have updates, we're gonna be back. Guys, check the link in the description. Follow Mike, download Rainbow, and we're gonna be in touch. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Ivan.